So we have understood some very important modules as we have started with math module, understanding some important mathematical functions. Then we have worked on time, date, time and calendar module. We have also seen the pretty simple usage of random module. How do we generate OTP kind of logic, and we have seen shuffling choice of elements. So just keep concentrating on them and you can work on more amount of functions once you understand a bit of this module. Right now, let's understand two more important modules which play a very vital role when you are trying to interact with the variables or access the variables used or maintained by the interpreter, where they are basically we use them or very widely, and they are generally system module and OS module. So I'll be using both interactive mode and scripting mode. So it's simple whether we use anything. So let me go for the interactive mode. I'll just save this shell also. I'll just say, because it is, even though you save it, it's not editable, right? It's not editable. So just make it simple. You just name it as sample. Just make it as shell module shell. And that's why we just rename something where we have both important modules which are sys and OS, system and operating system. What is the main difference between them? Because they have some very wide differences, because generally sys module, I'll make first difference, then we'll go for some functions on it. Sys module provides access system specific parameters. You can say it provides access to some variables used or maintained by the interpreter. That's where we generally use. It's maintained by interpreter, because people may confuse. With the help of sys module, we cannot create a new file. We can only just access them. We cannot make any changes, right? That's where we use sys module. When you go for OS module, that is operating system module, it is strongly responsible for interacting, because it is responsible for interacting with your operating system. That's where it plays a very vital role, interacting with the operating system. The name itself says OS, right? We can create a file, we can create a directory, we can rename a file, we can remove a directory. That's where we link these two working on files. Okay, so OS module is basically used for responsible for interacting with the operating system. When you say operating system, it depends on whether you are using Windows or Linux or Unix based system. It's fine, because we have some pretty good shortcuts to create files in Windows, and even if you go for Linux, there are some different shortcuts. So interacting with the operating system, mainly providing access. So mainly providing access to the underlying interface. Providing access to the underlying interface, right? So underlying interface of the operating system. So that's where we generally use this. So you need not worry about these two modules, where we start understanding about each one of them. Simple. System module is responsible for interaction between a program and Python interpreter, whereas OS module is responsible for interacting with the operating system directly. With the help of OS module, we can create a new directory, we can rename a file, we can remove a file also, right? So first let's start working on system module, because when you go for system module, how do you just import the module? You can just give import sys. You see, sys stands for system module, and when you go for directory of sys, you get list of all available functions within that. You need not remember any one of them, and you need not work on each one of them. It depends only when you are trying to use, where we'll be working on command line arguments when you go for sys.argv, right? This plays a very vital role. First, let's see one very important function. How do you access the path? See, you are getting a list of all values inside a string, and if you clearly see, when you see the first thing, C users name videos Python chapter 7 and C users name app data local, you can see clearly it is giving you the root location where your Python is being installed, right? Obviously, how do you are running this? Suppose if you want to see in order, for I in sys.path, and you can just give print of I. There you go. When you press enter, you get list of all available locations where Python is root being installed and where I have been running the Python files. It depends on your location. You need not worry, and this may varies for you and for me. Okay, you are trying to check the path. system path, because generally I told you sys module is responsible, or it provides access to some variables used or maintained by the interpreter, and mainly system is responsible for interacting with the program. Just keep that point in mind. Sys module is mainly responsible, it is mainly responsible for interaction between a program and the interpreter. That's where it plays a very vital role. Interaction between a program and your interpreter. I mean interpreter, because it's basically Python interpreter. So that's where system module plays a very vital role. And you see, you got the list of all available files where your Python is being stored, because if you just open your Python root location, you get this. And even what happens if I run from the shell? Let's see what happens if I run from the scripting mode. We are running the shell. When you go for scripting mode, let's see, I give import sys, import sys, and this file is saved in some root location. If I try to change this location to save as, and if I go to desktop, let's see what happens now. I'll give print of, because you are in scripting mode, you need to just go for print of sys.path. Okay, now let's save this and let's execute this. When you execute this, you got list of all available files, and this is the previous output. And if you want to clearly observe the output, just write a for loop. It would be better, right? So for I in sys.path, then what you need to do, you can just go for print of I. When you save and when you execute that, you can clearly get the list of all available. See, it is in desktop location, and you can see path when it is forward slash and backward slash. Basically, it will be backward slash because Windows path will be forward slash. That's where Unix path and Linux path is different as backward slash. Where we'll clearly understand when we go for files, you need to create the path in forward slash only, because forward slash is Windows path. I mean, you need to create the path in backward slash, where you can understand by changing the path from 2 forward slash or 1 backward slash. That's where you can see. To make it more simple, I'll just go to some desktop location and I'll show you. You can see, just see this file, right click on the properties, you go to security, the Windows path will be forward slash only, right? It's not division symbol, it's forward slash symbol. But when you go for the output result, you see one is in backward slash, and even the Python file saving format is in backward slash only. So these are all root location where Python IDL is present. See, Python 37 library, DLLs library. Just if I open a new IDL, you'll understand. If I go for Control O, I mean opening the location, you see all the DLLs and everything. Whatever we can see here, that has been printed here. And the first one is the location where the file is being saved and the save as path. That's where when you just go with the system module. It depends whether you open a new shell or whatever it is, it clearly gives you the path where the present file is being present, right? So that's where we use system.path, s.path. And even if you want to check the version what we are using clearly, so the better is, if you don't want to use interactive mode, you can go for scripting and you can just give print for every result. So if I go for sys.version, what is the version of Python when it was introduced, and it clearly gives you complete information. If you can scroll up, the same information is present over here. Whatever it is present over here, the same thing it will throw you when you go for sys.version. That's simple. And even you can specify the version by giving sys. When you wait for dot, you get the list of suggestions, sys.version underscore info. That means it will specifically devise what is the major release, minor release, everything in it clearly. Just some simple versions on it. What is the version of it? What is the information of the version which we are giving? That's simple. And even when you go for this very important argument, which is sys.argv, where it gives you the command line part, it will be where your Python file is saved, because the Python path is the default argument. Why did I give sys.argv? Because this is your shell running over there, and if you can see, what is the scripting mode is running over here? See, UND RAM and UND random.py is the file running. That is the reason this file is the default first argument, because always you run Python files from scripting mode. I mean, you run Python files from command prompt by giving Python file name. So file name is the first argument. Make it simple. If I can restart the shell again and you see, I'll again give import sys. I'll give import sys and I'll again ask sys.argv. Clearly you got empty list here. Why? Because already this shell is running. You can see the same Python file is running and we asked the sys.version and sys.argv. So when I ask argv, you got the same Python path. But if you have restarted the shell, there is no file running over there because that's where it gave you empty. No need to worry, when we go to command line arguments, we'll work on the same thing because it is very, very important. If I run from command prompt, that Python path will be the first argument. That's where it gives you. And even if you go for sys.argv and if you ask the length of it, length of sys.argv, it clearly gives you 1 because it's empty over there. That means there is some first default argument is the Python path. That's where you can clearly see the length is 1 over there. And other things are, you can also get the memory allocated for that. That's where we use get allocated memory, get allocated blocks. It will clearly give you the amount of memory being allocated. It's an integer value, 74,593. Each amount, it is basically that much amount of memory, that bits. And even if you restart the shell, it will clearly give you some memory change. So sys dot, when you go for get allocated blocks, it would clearly give you some difference over when you just call this. See, 71,000 because it is storing from cache and obviously 25 MB is the Python downloadable file memory. When you extract it, it goes around 95 MB or so. That's where when you go for 1 kilobyte is basically 1024 bytes, right? 1 megabyte is 1024 kilobytes. And you can see that's where 95 MB, 95 into 1024 bytes, and you can just convert it into bits. You can just clearly get the same amount of number. Approximately you can understand in that way. So sys.path, sys.argv and sys.getAllocatedBlock, block, these are some of the very widely used functions. And even we can also make one thing where we can change the display hook. That's where it clearly plays a very vital role. Display hook clearly gives you some difference. What do you mean by display? How we are trying to see the output, right? So we can change the display of our shell because it cannot run in the scripting mode, because every scripting mode you need to write print every time. You cannot find the difference over there. So I can change the display of our shell by using a pretty good simple function called as display hook, where we can play with that. That is the reason I am discussing very widely used functions. We will mainly concentrate on OS module when you are trying to remove a file, rename a file and create a directory. That's where it plays a very vital role. Okay, because what do you mean by display hook? Whenever I give input, I directly get the answer, but I want some additional thing to be printed over there. That's where I'll use a simple function to get the result. So I'll give x is equal to saket, and what do I do is I define a function. My function name is display function, and if I give the argument as x, so whatever you want to print in it, just print in it. So in this, I'll give Python class. In that way, we are giving something, or Python. Let's make it simple. You can pass anything on it. Then I'll give print of x. So obviously, x is a global variable, and when you call the function, what do you need to give? When you just call x, simply what do you get? You get saket. And when you call display function, display of x, what do you get? You get both Python and x. That is very much simple, which you already know. But what do I do is, now I want to change the display hook of my shell, where for every output I should get Python. That's what I'll be doing. So for that, I'll just use my display hook function. Sys.displayHook is equal to, what is your function name? You are assigning your function display to display hook. What do you mean by hook? Which is something holding, right? Yes. Now it's done. So when you print x, you not only get saket, but also you get Python. See, That's where whatever print you write in function, you are adding that as a display hook. So for every output, if I am trying to add two numbers, along with the result I am getting Python. You see, don't get worried about it. It will be continuously, even if you give two strings. I'll give two strings, Saket, Python, and you see the result over there. You get Python because for every output, you get Python as the first result because you have added the display function as the display hook. And even if you print, suppose if you give print of 25, you get 25 which you are trying to print. You get display hook none, Python, and along with none because there is nothing to print again. So until and unless you go on working on anything, even if you take two lists and you try to merge them, you get same result along with Python, right? So for every output, Python is being added. You cannot find any difference until and unless you try to restart the shell. So that's where we have added our function display as display hook. Whatever print you give in this, you can get the same result. It depends on user input. How does he try to take? Even if you try to repeat two tuples, whatever it is, it's up to you. Every time you get Python. So the only thing you should do is you just need to go to shell and restart the shell. See, and even if you call X now, it's name error because the shell is completely restarted. There is nothing to show the result. You get 25, you get same result, and you give print of 25 plus 26, you only get the exact result. You don't get the display hook. So this is how you can widely use sys module to work on some interesting results because sys will display the path and what is the length of arguments and along with the memory information, because argv will give you the Python path which is being stored with the Python path where the file is being stored, and you can clearly see where your Python file is running and which location they are being stored, because the main usage of sys module is it is generally for the interaction between your program and the Python interpreter. That's where it is mainly responsible, and this carries some very different functionalities when you compared with OS module.